You know, one of the great things about YouTube is there's so much information out there about a variety of different topics, and it comes from so many different people that are, you know, from all different walks of life. In the stacking community, it's, you know, Ma and Pa stacker that are, you know, buying their first 2 Eagles, or it's, you know, a huge channel that has a sponsorship from, you know, SD Bullion. Whatever it is, everything in between. The best part about that is you hear so many different perspectives on things. Particularly, I've noticed today when I was watching a video of a guy from Florida who's in real estate. And, you know, I watched the video and it was something to do with, you know, Florida real estate that, you know, he expects prices to start coming down pretty substantially, things like that. So I was watching to hear about that because, you know, I've heard, you know, all the things going on in Florida with the insurance and different things like that. So kind of, you know, interested in hearing about how that, you know, is playing out over there. But the part that was kind of like a common recurring theme for me was that he started going into economics, the economy and this and that. And I'm like, why does everyone have to be an expert on the economy? Why does everyone have to throw, you know, data points out there without context? You know, they'll rattle off this and they'll rattle off that, and then they'll talk about how it's not real because, you know, real people aren't feeling it and, you know, blah, blah. It's not that, again, it's not that I don't understand where that comes from. I mean, the reality is that, especially in America, I feel like we're very good at making our discontent with things happy. Doesn't matter, you know, whether it's politics, religion, your everyday life, you know, we're not afraid to say what it is that we don't like or don't agree with. Great, perfect, excellent. The thing is, like, when I was watching it, I noticed that, you know, I was going to watch another video of his and I did. And then, you know, it started out the same way where it was kind of interesting. And then he went, you know, full, like, speaking about economics. But again, the way that he was speaking about it, I was like, okay, this person clearly has no idea what they're talking about. They're rattling off numbers without context. And then at the end, just constantly saying everything is fake. So this kind of, you know, put me in a mindset where I was like, damn, I can't watch anything without, you know, it having a political or like a, you know, everybody needs to be an expert type of slant to it. So then I ended up seeing a different video. So I caught a video from a coin dealer, and it was actually, you know, by chance, the same coin dealer that had his bank account closed previously and had like a viral video that helped build his channel. But this guy was talking about, stackers, and he was talking about, you know, he mentioned halfway through his video that, you know, oh, well, you know, I don't know if you know, but I can see who my followers are and, you know, what the demographics are and blah, 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 blah. And he mentioned that, you know, I know that the vast majority of the stacking community is conservative and has conservative values. And, you know, ever since Trump, blah, 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 blah. And so he basically, what he was saying was that conservatives, through the mechanism of stacking and silver stacking, are under attack. And that this is another way that conservatives are under threat from, you know, whatever the boogeyman is. And for once, I really kind of took exception to it because I was like, you know what? I was like, you don't see this in other, you know, genres. You really don't see this like victim mentality, and like you clearly don't see that in stocks. You might see a little bit of that in cryptocurrency, but it's kind of endearing, right? Like cryptocurrency, it's like, yeah, we're edgy, we're on the edge, cutting edge. And of course, the man wants to come down on us, but we'll always be one step ahead. But with silver stacking, it always takes the form of poor us. Poor me, I got my bank account closed. Poor us, you know, this or that, or, you know, it's always something to play the victim with stacking. And I asked myself, I've noticed this more and more over, you know, the past couple years since the pandemic, but I don't recall it being that way before. I honestly don't recall it being that way before. And like that goes back to when I first started stacking. You know, and to see this guy like talking about like how, you know, transitioning into how conservatives are under attack because stackers are conservatives, and so it's a way of getting back at conservatives. I'm like, really? First of all, there's plenty of room in the stacking community for everybody. Now, while I might not agree with, you know, plenty of different channels that I watch politically, I know that if I met that person in real life, even if I didn't agree with, the things they had to say and where they're coming from, I would hear them out. And I know that, over a couple of beers or whatever, like we'd be able to get along. We'd have plenty in common. But it's attitudes like these that really are kind of a turnoff. That it's just like really, like, it's not about teams. It's not about, especially with something like stacking, like where there's so much more to it. But this is what it's become. And there's a lot of that, that type of mentality pervasive in the community, that it's just, oh, if you don't think along these lines, like there's no room for you in stacking. Like, and that's ridiculous. But on top of that, like I said, to take it to the next level where it's like, I'm a victim because, conservatives are the ones who, really stack and, blah, blah, blah. Really? I mean, I would believe that that's true. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think there's a lot more that goes into it than just being conservatives. But, I would believe that the conservative community is, the majority of the stacking community. But that being the case, I mean, that is our common thread, right? At the end of the day, like whether you're a conservative, a liberal, or anything in between, like our common thread is that we stack. For whatever our reason is, we stack. And so, there's a bridge there that, leaves a lot of room for everyone. And by taking it to, well, this is a thing of conservatives, and if you're not a conservative, you're under attack. It's crazy. It's crazy. And like I said, I don't remember this victim mentality in the stacking community. I really don't. And it's kind of sad that it's come to that, you know what I mean? And I ask myself if this is just the type of people who, kind of lend themselves to that kind of, oh, poor me, everything in my life is, against me. And no. The fact that you even have disposable income to be a coin shop owner or to stack any metals is a blessing. And why can't we look at it more in those terms than, some type of divisiveness or, some type of victimhood? It's really a shame, but it's something, I found interesting and wanted to get your thoughts on. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm going to link the video below.